The commission also complained that the unscientific fishermen were interfering in productive modes of industry. In other words, by objecting to what they saw as destructive practices, they were trying to interfere with the progress of technology. Just as computers and cyber electronics have changed everything we do today, industry and mechanical inventions were changing the way everything was done in the late 19th century, an age that became known as the Industrial Revolution. Scientific, industrial, and technological progress were seen as the great path to the future. It was only in the 20th century that we learned how such forces can also cause great damage. Speaking at the 1883 International Fisheries Exhibition in London, which was attended by representatives of leading fishing nations of the world, Huxley gave a speech in which he said, "Any tendency to overfishing will meet with its natural check in the diminution of the supply. In other words, we would realize we were overfishing by the simple fact that we were hauling in fewer fish." He further assured everyone that this check will always come into operation long before anything like permanent exhaustion has occurred. Here was science applying Darwinism to an important problem. If fishermen caused a decline in the population of fish, they could no longer fish that species because it would be too scarce, and that would allow the species to recover. But Huxley had overlooked an important part of Darwin's finding, which was that the survival struggle of a species depended on maintaining a large population. Huxley and his commissions were extremely influential in the governments of fishing nations throughout the North Atlantic for many years to come. Later in the 1880s, when the government of Canada was considering whether their fish populations would be threatened by new fishing technologies, they quoted from Huxley and argued that, despite increases in fishing, the English fisheries showed no sign of exhaustion. They concluded that it is impossible to lessen their number by means now used for their capture. By the means now used for their capture, here was the hidden trap. Many government officials and scientists had failed to notice that there was new technology being used with entirely new results. They held on to the view Huxley and others like him shared long after the reality of the situation indicated otherwise, and very few people in that world took notice of the fact that Huxley himself, after studying the impact of engine-driven net draggers in the North Sea a few years later, completely reversed his beliefs. Overfishing, he acknowledged, was not only possible, it was happening.